Welcome back to another episode of the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. And as many of you might have been experiencing as you are going into your home remodeling projects, you go to Home Depot lately and the prices are outrageous. It's just gotten ridiculous. One of the jobs I do is home remodeling and renovating and repairs and things like that. I've been in the process of doing a number of jobs on my own house as well, between adding a new addition, between laying new floors for my children's bedroom, the trim work, the shoe mold, just a little bit of everything. I've been replacing outlets. It's just the cost is phenomenally high. It's gotten ridiculous. So I was watching my YouTube channel and this video came up in my recommended feed. Home Renovision DIY is the name of the channel, and this gentleman by the name of Geoff Toner posted this video, and I felt like I needed to do a video just going over some of the comments on this video. I'm going to show you a couple clips from the video itself just to kind of show you what other people are dealing with as well. So stay tuned for that. This stuff's going to blow your mind. I'll be right back.
You're listening to the Unframe of Mind show, the place to have the most mind-stretching, unprotected, intellectual intercourse of your life. Your hosts battle the forces of evil by lobbing fiery balls of truth, reason, and evidence over safe room walls.
All right, so we're going to start the video out right here just to hear what he has to say about what's been going on lately with the supply chain.
How do I, all these basic construction videos that we haven't done yet. So I'm like, I'm not going to do any more major interior work for over a year because of COVID and the supply chain. So I say, no, I'm just going to go to the store. I'm going to get some of the lumber that's there, and I'll just get a few materials. I was shocked by what I saw. Okay. And so
I know a number of people that have done the same thing, especially when we go and try to bid jobs and that kind of thing. When they see the cost that we end up presenting them with, they're like, their jaws about hit the floor sometimes. And we've actually lost a number of jobs this year as a result of it, because people they're kind of used to paying a roughly a certain amount, for these jobs. And then when you come with material costs that are, sometimes twice as much as they normally are, if not more, then, it's really hard to make the case that, hey, we need to do this project now. I mean, a lot of people are putting it off until hopefully things start to smooth out. So let's continue.
Showed up at Home Depot. The only drywall they had left was 3 pieces of 12-foot drywall with broken corners and a half a stack, and I'm talking about 12 sheets of the green board, the drywall for bathrooms. Nothing else. I was on a Monday morning. The guy at the counter said they put in an order, but they're not getting any more until Friday. We're talking about a store that used to have a sign above the drywall, guaranteed 1,000 sheets in stock all the time. They've got nothing. If Home Depot can't keep drywall in stock, we're in for one hell of a year. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, and this is actually something that Anthony and I were trying to warn everybody about at way at the beginning of this COVID stuff. Just based on, they're closing down businesses and they're trying to determine what's considered an essential business and a non-essential business. I still maintain there's literally no such thing as a non-essential worker, with the exception of politicians, of course. But that being said, I mean, you have huge disruptions in the supply chain that's going to cause rippling effects over time. You're going to see exactly what we're seeing now. And I mean, I don't want to say I told you so, but if you weren't prepared and you weren't going out and getting stocking up on some of those things that you need to have stocked, you might be running a little late about now. And it's not going to get better. I don't see it getting better anytime soon.
Now, it's bad enough that each of the 2x10s that are 8 feet long here were $24. But the OSB, what I like to call the leftover wood, it's just the chips, right? OSB. I used to make subfloor for basements out of this stuff on a dimpled membrane, and it was $9 or $10 a sheet. I paid $54 for 1 sheet of leftover wood plywood. My mind was blown. I can't believe the cost of materials. It's because they're just not available. You guys are busy trying to renovate your houses, but this stuff's just not available. So, word to the warning, let's just do everybody a favor in the community, okay? If you go to the store and you're shopping for something and you find that it's not available, I want you to go back to this video, all right? Star it, mark it, save it, whatever you gotta do, right? And put the information in the comment section. Let everybody know, hey, we're running out of this.
All right.
But state or province you're in, because it's going to be different no matter where you go.
Yeah, like you said, it's going to be different everywhere you go. There's going to be different, supply chain issues. They're going to have their own challenges. But as soon as he said that, of course, what did I do? I went down to the comment section, start looking around, and holy crap, man, I'm sitting here as I'm reading this stuff. I'm like, this is I knew it was going to be a problem, but criminy, it's so much. And I just wanted to kind of go over and just read through some of these comments. And I will have the video linked in the description below so you guys can see that as well. Brenda says, wanted a simple 12 by 20 metal carport built. Local installer said they aren't taking any orders because they can't get materials. He has a job from September of 2020 that he still is still waiting for goods. I appreciate his honesty. He could have taken my money and delayed. Yeah, and we're running into the same thing. It's like, it's not, I mean, the prices go up, obviously, because the supply is low. But, when they're not even available, period, that presents some especially challenging problems. I mean, some people have the extra money to put toward these projects if they need to, because they need to get them done. But when the products just aren't available, that's a huge problem. And this is a direct result of government trying to come in and manipulate, everybody's free will to go run a business. It's just you have you just can't shut down an economy and expect there not to be consequences. You can't do that. So right here, Jason Mathers says, I'm in the commercial roofing industry, and we're getting a lot of warnings by suppliers and manufacturers that screws are going to be damn near gone in the coming months. I've already ran into this a couple times, just not finding the particular size of screw that I'm looking for. Now, there's still screws available, but it's the ones that you don't really typically pick up as much. However, as this problem continues to move forward, we're going to just see less and less of that. And it also doesn't help. It doesn't help a bit that the government is sitting there paying people money for them to sit on their asses. The local Sonic down the road, I'm hearing stories that they're having trouble getting new employees. When people got the $1,400 checks, they decided, hey, I don't need to work no more. So they quit, they split, they're out. They don't work at Sonic no more. But then again, I got to think, if I'm working at a fast food restaurant, $1,400 represents a considerable amount of my monthly income. Like that's at least a month's worth of income, if not more, based on some of the starting wages of these folks. So I don't blame them either. I mean, it's just basic common sense. It's human incentive. It's what people do. Nut Bastard says, it finally happened. We should have seen this shortage coming. We've completely run out of toilet paper, and now people are wiping their asses with plywood. Well done. All right. Patrick M. says, we had 4 clients buy all their materials for their decks in October last year because we knew prices were going to continue to go up and up. And we were booked out for months with other jobs. They're extremely happy now knowing they each saved $3,000 on material. That is a pretty good amount of money to save, for sure. Virginia says, my plan was to start a new build mother-in-law house, 1,200 square foot in the back of our lot. Fortunately, she still has her house and we can wait out the year or so to start the build. Nothing is normal these days. Absolutely. And it's a matter of if you can afford to wait it out, by all means, wait it out. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys working in the construction industry right now that are not getting jobs as a result of people having to wait because they can't afford to get the jobs. They can't afford that material. That's just too much. It's a lot. And they're finding alternatives, yes, but there's only so much you can do to try to cut down on the cost. So Riley Baker says, we're still bringing logs to mill. Mills are paying low prices. Someone upstream is profiting a little too much from this COVID thing. And again, it's just a supply chain issue. You're going to have, ripples and waves. You're going to have fluctuations in price. And as the circulating supply continues to drop, obviously you're going to see price increases on the other end. And the only way those prices are going to come down is once that logjam clears and we can finally start getting things moving smooth like it used to be. Brian Buckley says, my biggest fear is that prices aren't going to come down all that far once the supply is fixed. And that is a very, very good, that's a very reasonable concern. I mean, you've also got on the other end of the monetary supply, you've got the U.S. government printing trillions of dollars, just printing them out like they're nothing, like it doesn't mean anything. And as a result, the monetary supply is going to be inflated so much that, yeah, they are... Okay, so companies are quick to raise their prices and then slow to drop them. It's kind of a protection mechanism. You'll see this happen all the time in oil prices. When gasoline prices, shoot up, they shoot up real quick, but it takes a while for them to kind of penny or two down daily, and it's just a slow process of kind of coming back down and trying to find that market price. Brian W. Ball 40 says, I was in Home Depot in Edmonton today. Half-inch plywood was $64 a sheet. WTF. James says, guy at Home Depot said wood started getting scarce after everyone became a DIYer during COVID. Also, Snowvid destroyed so many homes that there's a housing shortage here in Texas. Yeah, that could be quite the huge issue, I would imagine. Holy crap. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point, too, though. When COVID hits, everybody's sitting at home. They're not really making as much money, but they still got home remodeling projects to do. And look, now suddenly they have the time to do them. A lot of times, I'm getting paid to do the jobs that people just don't have time to do. They have the extra disposable income because they work a decent job, but they just don't have the time to do the project. So that's where I come in, and we come in and do the work. But even now, I'm not getting the work because of it. They're staying home doing this stuff themselves. It makes a lot of sense. I would too. Matter of fact, I do, because that's what I do for a living. Adam says, don't give in to the high prices or they'll keep gouging us for years to come. Well, guess what? I mean, unfortunately, people have to buy that stuff. There's just no way around it. I mean, you can put off as long as you can and are able to and reasonably financially capable of, but at some point, you got to, if you got a leaky faucet and it's causing some wood damage, you got to go replace it. You have no choice. If you need the addition on your house, I kind of need the addition on my house. I have a family of 5 living here with 1 bathroom. I would love to have a second bathroom. Unfortunately, the material that I've been looking at right now, the 2x6 12-foot framing lumber is running around $26 a board, and I'm coming to find out that the treated lumber is actually $2 or $3 cheaper. Now, tell me in what world that makes sense, except that the supply chain's been interrupted, and now we have an abundance of treated lumber and not so much of the framing lumber. Tony B says, I'm in Arkansas and my only nearby store is Lowe's. They seem to have plenty in stock, but yeah, the prices are obscene. Strangely enough, the place I'm seeing stock vanish altogether is Walmart. Just cruised the hardware section and paint supplies, foam cans, various tools, etc. are all gone. Yeah, I experienced the very, very same thing. I walked into Walmart, probably a couple months after COVID started and everybody was locked down or what have you. I noticed, wow, I really do think everybody's staying at home doing projects, because suddenly all that stuff is gone. All those cheap tools and paint rollers and the stock was just way down. It was nuts. Here's another example of the unintended consequences of all this shutting things down. Asta says, we're paying $47 for a sheet of OSB here in Central Texas. Our local Habitat for Humanity can't afford to build any houses due to the high cost of construction material. Wow, that is something that honestly I didn't even consider, because this stuff does kind of trickle down and throughout the supply chain on the other end of things after we buy. I'm just sitting here thinking about that. How many low-income families or poor families aren't going to be able to have a home built for them because of the results of telling everybody to stay at home, shelter in place, or whatever the catchphrase of the week was. It's supposed to be 2 weeks, but here we are over a year later, and people are still freaking out. People still lost their damn minds, and as a result, we're paying ridiculous prices for materials. It's insane. Gary Cox, I started renovating my house in 2019. Now I can't afford to finish what I started. Geoff Toner says, begs the question of how much of this supply chain shortage is manufactured to push up prices. That's right from the oil company's playbook. Never let a good crisis go to waste. I see what you're getting at there, but I don't think that's really the case here. This is legit. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of decisions people made that would have fed into and resulted in the increased prices we're seeing. Now, that's not to say that they didn't increase them a little more because they could. I don't know. There's no way of telling, obviously, but there's so much more at play than just that one particular element. So Angel Wolseley says, house damage during Texas freeze. I no longer have a house. I have a construction site. We are not just running out of products, we're running out of plumbers and contractors as well. It cost us $600 to replace one busted pipe. We have roughly $50,000 worth of damage. Trying to use DIY videos to piece house back together. Now that's an issue that I've been running into for quite a while, is just trying to hire good help. Trying to hire anybody that knows how to read a tape measure, that knows how to do basic construction tasks. I mean, I can hire basic laborers dime a dozen, but I need some skilled labor, and there is none. There's none in this area. There's plenty of people that are looking for jobs, but I can't hire you if you don't have the skills. I can't hire you if you have a DUI and you can't drive and you don't have a license, and by extension don't even have a car. Like, people have lost their minds, and now they're sitting on their asses because they have a $1,400 check in their pocket or more. And if you have kids, you got even more than that. And there's no incentive for them to get out and actually bust their ass and work. I mean, that drive is being sucked right up, if there was any to be had to begin with. I'm in concrete manufacturing in Florida, and we can't get cement powder to keep our plant running. We're a smaller outfit, so suppliers are only servicing the large plants. Someone else says, my in-laws are renovating a ground floor unit for a family friend who 2 weeks ago, they literally had to drive 100 miles away to buy a door, because it was the only place that had it in stock. Now, I just recently bought a couple doors for my house, interior doors, the split jam doors that you pop up and nail in, and I had to do my own work on them because the quality was shit. The price was almost double what I thought I was going to pay. Wood hollow doors. And they couldn't even be bothered to get the trim lined up properly. So I had to pull all of the casing off and just to get my proper 1/4 inch gapping around the edge to make it look nice. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I shouldn't have had to do that much work. I might as well just build my own door at that point, Anyway, so yeah, I mean, have you guys had any troubles with, have you guys been doing remodels and finding this to be a problem? Have you guys been seeing just random items running out of your store? And what do you think about that? I mean, at what point are we as people willing to actually do something about all these changes that we're seeing, about all this manipulation and crap? I mean, this is what I always talk about to people. Preparing for a rainy day is hugely important. Okay, we brought this up, and this isn't blaming the victim. If you know rainy days are coming, but you got to prepare. I've had plenty of savings ready to go just in case something like this happens. So, when we're in the middle of a pandemic, when we're in the middle of a huge supply chain, ripple, I'm not as worried about it. And it really is a huge weight off my shoulders. And I feel terrible for whatever way higher percentage of people who can't even afford a $500 repair on their car if things come down to it. What is it, 72% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck? That's ridiculous. That's bullshit. And then to throw this on us on top of it, no wonder the government thinks they're going to be the savior to come in and save everybody. Y'all been watching the Unframe of Mind show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Do the things that, people supposed to do on the internet. Anyway, check this out. I've got this really cool shirt here that I think you might like. I'm identifying as vaccinated. They are available now. The link is in the description below if you want to order those. I found a new supplier who's able to do it for way cheaper than my previous supplier, to the tune of $12 cheaper for you guys. And it's free shipping. $20 out the door. It's yours anywhere in the US. So if you want one, it's triggering all the right people. So definitely head on over to either the link below or just head over to my merch site my merch link on unframeofmind.com. I look forward to speaking with you again. Until next time.